she's looking around completely lost. Well, not my business. There are hundreds of locals here. She made a beeline in my direction and asked me in Chinese, how do you get to Xiaogan from here? And the whole platform just stopped in silence, like, why are you asking him? And then I had this very overwhelming feeling like there's something missing, something that I recall, but it's not here, you know? And I really racked my brains like, what is it that is not here? And then I suddenly realized it's jamu ya. There is nothing that Taiwan needs that England has, nothing whatsoever.
Really?
Taiwan has everything, so no, I don't miss anything. And if you ask me the opposite way, you know, what would I take from Taiwan to England? The list is as long as my arm.
Hello everyone, I'm Alex here. I'm today with a new video, and today I want to introduce you Steve, who came from England more than 20 years ago to Taiwan. And you know, during that time lots of things happened, and actually I don't know yet what happened, but I hope he's gonna share the most fascinating stories. What made you come to Taiwan?
You want the true,
Yeah,
answer?
Only the truth.
I've told so many different stories over the years.
I'm not from like, you know, immigration.
Yeah, how did I actually find myself on these shores? I guess in some way it started as kind of a cop-out.
Okay.
Because a friend and I, you know, many years ago when we were in our 20s, we did a working holiday in Australia.
Okay.
And you know, everything went well. It was a great adventure. You know, we found our way back overland, back to England. Okay, that's it. You know, we can start our lives back in England again. We've got the kind of travel bug out of our system.
Yeah.
But it didn't last long.
No.
So we decided to leave again. We ended up in Thailand, traveled down through Southeast Asia, and the cop-out plan was to go back to Australia.
Oh.
Because it's easy, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
So we'll take a slow trip down to eventually Denpasar, Bali.
In Indonesia.
Indonesia, yeah. And in that place, we apply for visas. We hang out on the beach. When our visas come, we go back to Australia.
Okay.
Yawn. You know, even we were disappointed in our choice, but it was the easy way.
Yeah.
So we're on the beach one afternoon, and I don't even remember how we met this guy, but we got talking to a Canadian. And you know, we were talking about travel and so on. And eventually it got round to where he was living and working, and he was living and working in Kaohsiung, Taiwan. Like, what do you do there? You know? And he was teaching. I think alarm bells went off in both of our heads, just like, this may be an opportunity to do something, you know, completely what we're looking for in some way, the great adventure.
All right.
Tore up our visas, bought tickets to Taiwan, and that was 20-something years ago.
So you didn't have really idea what is Taiwan like?
Only, you know, the small plastic products that we used to get when we were kids, you know.
Toy Story, you know.
Yeah. You know, one of my neighbors when I was a kid, his father was a member of the Hong Kong police.
Okay.
So I did get, you know, some idea of what Asia was like, and it always, you know, well, the ultimate dream, you know, go to Asia. But I never expected to end up living here.
Wow. What's the first impression when you come to Taiwan?
Sorry to all those out there, but there's a foreigners group in Kaohsiung. And when I sit down and read the questions, it just makes me shake my head in disbelief and somewhat anger. You know, you get people who arrive here and say, well, I've just arrived in Taiwan. How do I buy shampoo? I mean, it's just like, you're young, you have, you know, a cell phone at your disposal. Like, why don't you just search for it? Why are you putting your, again, sorry, but your dumb question out there, you know? When we came here, the resources were very limited.
No internet yet.
No Chinese, you know, we couldn't read the language, we couldn't speak it, but we found our way around, you know? And that's the whole point of coming here, the adventure, you know?
Yeah, use the search button.
You know, we didn't have one back then, but you find your way, you talk to the locals. That was it, that was life.
Did you have any funny encounters in your beginning?
The one that sticks in mind recently is I was at Formosa Boulevard Station, Mei Li Dao, at rush hour. You know, so there are hundreds of people everywhere, and I'm taking my train up to the north, this area. So I see this woman, you know, kind of elderly woman, come down the escalator, and you can see she's looking around completely lost. Well, not my business. There are hundreds of locals here. She made a beeline in my direction and asked me in Chinese, how do you get to Xiaogan from here? And the whole platform just stopped in silence, like, why are you asking him? But you know, I answered her, and then eventually I took her over to the other side, and I showed her the map, and I guided her to Xiaogan.
Yeah.
And all that time, the platform was silent. It's like, this is a really weird experience, you know? Why me, you know? Friendly face? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
Over the years, there have been so many odd moments.
Oh, I want to hear them all.
Well, I mean, in the very early days, to see a white person on the street was like seeing seeing a ghost or something, you know? People would stop in the street and just, you know, look. Yeah. And you know, you kind of overcome that, and you feel like something of a celebrity at first.
Yeah.
You know, it gets old really quickly because you don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, like every day it's kind of...
Yeah. But it's just those occasional moments where somebody just says something really odd, and it's just like, wow.
So how about the culinary, you know, journey? You try like Southeast Asian food, you try like Australia is basically the same like in England, with a few updates.
Yeah.
But like how about Taiwanese food?
I love it all.
Really?
I mean, if you come to Asia, you've got to come with an open mind. Be willing to try everything, which is me. You know, I have no fear of a food that I don't know, you know, put it in your mouth and decide if you like it.
Yeah.
And I love most of the foods here.
So what's your favorite?
Favorite food? So many. You know, I'm quite a fan of cho tofu.
Yeah.
And most people don't believe it, but I love it, you know. I don't seek it out, but you know, if I smell it, I want to eat it.
Okay, I see. I want to do it from time to time, like, you know, but outdoors.
Yeah.
Like, that's like the rule. It has to be outdoors at the table.
The only thing completely off the menu is pi dan.
Oh.
I've tried it, and I've tried it in many different forms. Like, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't work for me at all.
Yeah, it looks scary though. Like, it looks like
there are not many foods you can describe that way.
Yeah,
Looks, smells, and tastes scary.
Yeah.
That's one of them. So I can leave it off my menus.
When you go back to England, what do you miss the most about Taiwan?
I don't know, 10 years, something like that ago. I was back in England in winter, in London, dreary, grey, cold London. And I was walking around the streets, you know, kind of remembering places I used to go when I was younger.
Yeah.
And then I had this very overwhelming feeling like there's something missing. Something that I recall, but it's not here, you know? And I really racked my brains like, what is it that is not here? And then I suddenly realized it's jamu ya. You know, I couldn't smell it in the air, you know, and that's the winter smell, isn't it? I couldn't smell it like, wow, I feel homesick, you know. It was a really very bizarre feeling.
Yeah.
Homesick for Kaohsiung, how about that? You know?
That is.
Then you start to realize where home really is, you know.
No, I think the moment when you start missing Taiwan is the moment when you're abroad and you start thinking about beef noodles. That's the moment for me that okay, like I want to go back to Taiwan.
Right.
Yeah, it's changing very fast, and the life is like, you know, like with new technology. Like, I don't know, for example, what I'm like stunned about is that if you go to Thailand, they have those cameras and, you know, parkometer together. So like you park on a spot and the camera takes like a photo of your car and they start charging you then. And if you want to leave the car, you have to do a scan with your card or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's no human involved, and it's just by the street. Every parking spot has a camera and the pay station.
Yeah. We got to keep up to date with all that. Like, how does this work?
I think this is very, very fast in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Also, like when you go to 7-Eleven, you know, like before they have only just say like 欢迎光临 and 谢谢 bye bye or 要袋子吗? Now it's like 采菊, you know, 要一发药, like, you know, like your membership, you know, do you have an app?
Yeah, ends up being a long conversation just to buy a candy bar.
Yeah, I think so. If there is a chance you can bring 3 things from England to Taiwan to adapt it here, what would it be?
There is nothing that Taiwan needs that England has. Nothing whatsoever.
Really?
Taiwan has everything, so no, I don't miss anything. Yeah, bring my mom for a vacation because she would never come again. But apart from that, no, not really.
Oh,
you know, if you'd asked me the question 10 years ago,
there
are some things that you miss. But eventually, after a period of time, you know, fish and chips are available in Kaohsiung.
Yeah.
There's an English restaurant here, so
of course.
If you need it, down the road you go. So. And if you ask me the opposite way, you know, what would I take from Taiwan to England? The list is as long as my arm. You know?
Okay, so let's follow that idea.
Yeah.
So 3 things from Taiwan you would bring to England.
Well, the first one, I think this is going back, I don't know, 7-8 years ago.
Okay.
I arrived in London and, checked my flight details, the bus from London airport to where my family lives in Devon.
Okay.
It's about a 3-hour journey. And there's a bus 2 hours after I arrive. Perfect.
Yeah.
So I arrive, get to the bus station, which is right next to the airport. The driver is standing next to the bus. I'm like, good morning. He says, good morning. I said, this is the bus to Exeter? Yes, it is. It leaves at such and such a time? Yes. Where do I buy a ticket? Ticket office is over there. And this is like 7 a.m.
Okay.
So I walk over to the ticket office and it's closed. So I walk back to the driver and I say, the ticket office is closed. He goes, I know. What time does it open? He goes, 9. But the bus leaves at 8:30. So is there a ticket machine? No. I'm like, well, okay. Can I buy a ticket directly from you? No. We are not permitted to take money. I'm like, okay, well, can I pay by credit card? No. You're like, well, what are my options? And he just looks at me like, are you an idiot or something? You get the next bus. Like, but the next bus is like 5 hours later.
Yeah.
Yes? And he just looks at me like, this is a really good suggestion. Like, wow, there is no possible chance that anybody in this country would let business walk away.
Yeah.
Not in a million years. I'm just like, this is my home country. I feel like I want to go home again. Back here, of course.
No, but it's
unbelievable.
But it's, you want to bring the money and they don't want it.
No, how do tourists survive in England? I wonder,
I don't know. What's your most enjoyable thing to do in Taiwan when you have free time?
Look for snakes.
Yeah.
And I have a wood business, and the wood business basically, my thinking behind it is kind of like everything I do. It's like, when I first came to Taiwan, there was no football. So we made a football team.
All right.
When you build a home, there are certain things that you need to make your home more interesting, but you can't find them.
Yeah.
Taiwan artworks, there's no such thing.
Oh, I see.
So you look around, like, there's nothing really to make my home feel colorful and, I like weird, strange art anyway. So, all right, well, I'll start making it.
Wow.
When I show my stuff in the local markets, the very first thing they're surprised by is that I'm a white guy.
Yeah.
This is Taiwan-inspired art. There is no way that you made this. Like, why not? I started with the religious aspect.
Oh, I see.
I enjoyed watching a lot of the temple festivals, get the painted faces,
that's
8 generals. But you can't buy something like that to put on your wall. So I started making it.
Oh, I see.
And Taiwanese are just like, whoa, this is not right. They're like, why not? Well, why would you put it on your wall? Like, well, I'm not asking you to buy it. I like it. I make it for my own benefit.
Oh, yeah.
It's more like a display than I sell some pieces, but it's more like a display.
You don't get the. It's like you wear a cross, but you're not a Christian. I guess.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because the cross, or like even the Christmas trees, technically it's a Christian thing, but I don't think anybody gonna come to you. Hey, you're not a Christian.
Oh, they do. They do.
They do that?
Yeah. I was challenged by a guy, and we were at a market in Taichung.
Okay.
And I'd made this piece, and the 8 generals are in the piece, but the center general was a monkey skull.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So he's looking at this, and he immediately took offense because it's got the god headdress.
Yeah.
And he took offense, and I'm like, excuse me, is everything okay? Did you make this? And there's aggression in his voice. Yeah. Yes. Why would you do this? This is blasphemy, basically what he was saying.
Oh, I see.
I'm like, could you explain to me why? He's like, why would you put an animal bone with a god headdress?
Okay.
I said, sir, we're in Asia, If you go to practically any country in Asia, the monkey is a god, Hanuman.
Yeah.
In this country, the god is a king.
Yeah.
I grew up watching the Monkey King on TV, and this is a representation of that. And he goes, oh. And then he smiled. So it's just, something that wouldn't, he wouldn't normally think about. And actually, you're right. I know, that's why I made it. it's totally out of respect. I don't mean any disrespect.
I think so. That was a lovely conversation. So if people want to look for you on social media,
then on Facebook we are Taiwanish.
Okay.
Taiwan-ish.
Okay, I'll add it.
Because these days I'm half English, half Taiwanese. So Taiwanish.
Wow, that's cool.
And Taiwanese, when they look at the name, they're like, oh, we know what this means. Taiwan Nu Shu. You're a Taiwan son-in-law, like, oh. Actually, that's not what it means, but the double meaning works.
It could be. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.